All right, as you guys are getting logged in, we'd like to welcome you to our Focus on the Future. I see you, Peter, with your energy apparel. You came properly themed, which is always fun. I am giving people a few more minutes to join on, so if you guys will just bear with us, we'll get started in about a minute or two. If
you look good, Pete. Attaboy.
Man, I missed on that. I wish I would have had it.
Looks better on everyone.
Oh, Peter, unmute. Are you using this as a face mask right now too?
Yes, these also double as a good face mask. So I've been going out in public.
Elaine's wearing her energy shirt too, or her chamber shirt. I love it.
No, it's okay. Yes, it is.
It looks green and it looks like that one. I'm going to go change real quick. I'll be back. No, I'm totally kidding. I'm good.
For those of you who just jumped on, we will get going here in a minute or two. Thank you for being with us and giving us your time today. We're excited to have you all here. Let's see. We can go ahead. Let's go ahead and get going with our welcome and our housekeeping, just to be respectful of your time. My name is Liz Cromwell, and I'm the program director at the South Oklahoma City Chamber. For those of you who I have not had the pleasure of meeting or I haven't seen in a while, we've got our whole staff is with us today as well. I'm just going to have you guys wave. Jamie Crow is our membership director. Elaine Lyons is our president and CEO. We've got Elizabeth Aubrey, who is our administrative assistant. And then Emmy Carnes is our events director. So to start things off, if you guys will all do me a favor and turn your videos on if you are able to, because we're going to take a quick picture just so that we can, we like to document all of these things that we're doing. So I'll give you guys a few seconds. With that, Dottie, I ask for grace as a lot of us are working from home. I've got a couple dogs who like to pick up squeaky toys when I start to talk, so that's going to happen. I will quickly mute myself, but let's, Emmy, if you want to turn your mic on and give us a countdown so that we know when to wave here. We'll take a quick picture and smile and go from there. All right.
Okay, y'all ready? 3, 2, 1.
All right, thank you. One other kind of housekeeping thing, if you guys will keep yourselves muted if you're not speaking, that would be great. If you have a question at any time during the presentation, if you'll just drop it down in the chat function, we will be looking at those, and that's where I will get the questions whenever we get into that part of it. With that, I would love to introduce our speaker today. We've got Mr. Jeff Kretchmar, and he has over a decade of experience in professional sports. Jeff is now the COO of Energy FC. Jeff has 19 years of varied experience in the sports and entertainment industry and is a graduate of the Leadership Oklahoma City Class 35, Team South Class 11, and was honored as a 2017 Achiever Under 40 by the Journal Record. Jeff has been with Energy FC since its inception and has acted as Director of Operations, VP of Operations, and VP of Sales and Marketing. In his newest role as COO with the organization, his primary focus is growing the culture, brand, and business of Energy FC. They have done a great job during this time of really looking forward and being future focused. And it is my pleasure to introduce my friend. And I would also be amiss if I didn't mention he's on our executive team, our executive board with the chamber as well. So Jeff, I'm going to turn it over to you and we can go from there.
Great. Thank you so much, Liz. I'm using an earpiece, so I hope everybody can hear me well. If you can't, just shout and let me know, and we'll figure something else out. Liz, thank you so much. for introducing me and for inviting me to come do this. I'd spoken with you and Elaine a few days ago about some things, and apparently I said something wrong because I got roped into doing this. So I do appreciate the opportunity, and I hope that everybody finds, if nothing else, at least a fun conversation out of this, so that we can all break up our days. And it looks like most of you, like me, are working from home. I see lots of friendly and familiar faces. Hi, Lauren. And for the rest of you that I don't know, I hope to get to know, through chamber events and other things in the future. Feel free to always grab me. I'm always up for a good conversation. So, and I'll pass on some contact information if you have any interest in connecting with me at any point in time about anything, really. I'm pretty bored at home these days, so I'm always up for a good conversation. So good afternoon and welcome. We're here to talk about focusing on the future. And I want to do that by just going through, and I want it to be really more of a discussion. So I'm going to go through some brief things, and hopefully we can have a good conversation about it. But by focusing on the future, by building a new game plan for our organizations and for our teams. And I'll do that by focusing on 5 very basic pillars. Nothing is that I'm going to say is magical or scientific. These are all things that we all know. They're things that we do, but for me personally, they're things that I think about and I use and utilize every single day, Sunday through Saturday, and that I use to help build the culture of Energy FC and hopefully create a better future for us each and every day. And number one on that list, and I think it's really, is more so now than ever really important, is focusing on our controllables. It's so easy to get wrapped up in what's happening. And as we're a small business, we have about 32 employees right now, full time, and we're hurting. People are hurting, and I think we're all in very similar situations that we're watching this happen, if not to ourselves, then to people we know. But it's not in our control. This pandemic's not in our control. The stock market's not in our control. Government regulations, whether we're open for business or not right now, not in our control. And it's just the old adage, it's like death and taxes. And I think we all have at least that one neighbor that probably talks a little too much when we're outside. There's just things that we don't have control of in our lives. But much like the seasons, just as summer always follows spring, things will change, and we have to be prepared to see that change happening. So what can we control? We can control ourselves. We can control our thinking. We can control our planning. We can control how we treat the circumstances we are given, and we can control holding ourselves and our teams accountable. I'll bring up that again a little bit later on. Accountability is very important. So you probably hear me say it more than once today or in different ways, but every new challenge brings new understanding. New understandings bring new opportunities, and that's what we have to see this as, is a way to understand and see things a little bit differently. And to see it as an opportunity to grow and excel in the future. The way we have done business, it's going to take a long time to get back to. We may be back to work in a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks or a month or whatever it is. We may be back to doors open. It's going to be different for a while. There's just, the climate's different. People are going to be different. This is going to change things. And I think, that as we can all agree today, we're going to have plenty of challenges in today's climate. So there's lots of room for that understanding and opportunity to hit. Outside of knowing our controllables, we want to focus on understanding and knowing our principles. Any good game plan is going to have strong roots. Do you have a vision, mission, and value statements for your business or for your life? These things don't apply just to what we do to earn paychecks, right? But if you do, that's great. Do they still hold true? When was the last time you really evaluated your vision, mission, and values? Does your team really believe in them? Do they take them to heart? Do they buy in, or do they participate in that process with you? And if not, or if they don't, it's time to really work on that. I mean, what an amazing time to work on it. Like I said, I think most of us are sitting at home right now, and so we don't normally get the time and the opportunity to do these kinds of things. And right now we can take a step back and see a bigger picture. And so it's an excellent opportunity to work on those vision, mission, and value statements and your principles, because those principles really set the tone for what our company culture is. And there's plenty of studies out there that show a strong company culture will improve your business revenues, upwards of 700% over a decade. So culture is wildly important, whether you have 2 employees or you have 500 employees, it doesn't matter. The culture and what people believe in is vital to your success. So, what can we do with our principles and our vision, mission, value statements? We can use them every day to engage our teams and to keep commitment levels high among our teams. For example, if you value communication, how are you showing that every day? It's one thing to say or to post on a wall, hey, these are our values, but how are you actually showing that with your employees, especially now, that we're separate? How can we increase the importance of that value so that our teams believe in it and execute it every day? So we're a lot of new remote working world. So it's changed my communication patterns with my team. I use Slack every day. First thing in the morning, Slack is a communication tool. If you're not aware, if you have a small team, it's a great tool to go download. It's free and it's amazing. So you can create different threads in there. So I've created just a water cooler thread, right? Like, what are we missing from the workplace? We're missing the coffee pot. We're missing the water cooler. It's a place where people can go and share and completely BS and talk about everything that's not work related, because it's still important to make sure that they're a community and that they're a family, because that is what keeps people from focusing on what they can, that keeps them from, keeps those controllables forethought, right? Keeps them positive. So it keeps your team united is what I'm trying to say. So for us personally, we're touching on 2 key values for my team, which is communication and being united. That's a challenge that has brought me new understanding of how to share corporate values with my team and things, and I'm having to rethink about how I do that. So really the third thing I want to talk about is just, it's an excellent time to learn, survey, listen, digest, and change. It's time for us to learn from our customer base. Today is better than usual opportunity for us to get to know our customers. We can better learn their needs and wants so that we can better serve a new future. Most of us have a database of some sort, whether it's a CRM or an Excel sheet or, whatever it is. But we have the information that of our customer base out there. And as this pandemic first hit, and I'm sure, just like me, most of you received 100 different emails from every list you're on about how the companies are cleaning and moving to online orders to keep me safe and how they're dealing with COVID-19. I'm not saying that's not important, but what an amazing opportunity to reach out to your customers and to your fans and the people you deal business with and just say, hey, how are you? How's it going? Tell us about yourself. That's, in my opinion, a better opportunity. We're looking beyond today and we're seeing what needs we can fill. Have your team get on email, chat, phone, use whatever tools are available to you to connect your clients on a human level. You might really be surprised at what you learn. If you have a CRM, you'll be able to fill that data you never thought about. Pets' names, food preferences, what sports their kid plays, and on and on. You're going to learn more about your customer base today because you have time to do it. And that's a rare opportunity and treat for many of us. And right now, the people will talk to you. They'll respond. They'll do surveys. They'll get on a phone with you. We have a small team of sales representatives for our company, and their talk times are through the roof because people are bored. They want to talk. They want to connect. So use this time to connect so that you can build a better game plan. Learn more than ever before and open your product line, your services, widgets, whatever it is you do. Just open it up to more possibility. When we all come out of this, should our menus and our product offerings, should they all look exactly the same that they did before? Not in my opinion. I think it's time. I think this is the time that we have to build that game plan to say, well, what do our customers really need? What do they want? What do they desire? And then provide that product for them. It's a great opportunity to hold listening sessions on Zoom. We're all using Zoom right now. It's a fantastic tool. You basically small focus groups that you don't have to pay a PR company a ton of money to help you out with. And it comes down to really basic questions. What can we do better for you? What are your interests? How can we best serve you? It doesn't have to be mind-boggling, but it's an opportunity for you to connect and learn. I caution you not to take it personally. Don't overly engage if you do that kind of thing. This is not a space for if somebody says, well, it'd be nice if you did X. It's not a place for you to really go, well, we actually do. Listen to your customers. If they're suggesting that, then they don't know you offer it. So we've got to maybe think about maybe our marketing or our storytelling isn't maybe what we thought it was. So listen, learn, and use that to build a better game plan. Number 4 would be being self-disciplined. I'm a firm believer that the best form of improvement is discipline, and the best form of discipline is self-imposed. You can make a plan, but you have to work the plan. And beyond that, you have to engage, inspire, and lead your team to love that plan, or it'll never work. And that goes back to the culture piece. I mentioned the Slack messages earlier. I discipline myself to make a post each morning, and it will be absolutely asinine, insane. It will make no sense. It's just to engage people. It's to get the team up and working first thing in the morning. And look, everybody's working from home. I know I'm not getting 8 hours a day, right? Like let's be honest about it. But what I can do is I can keep them engaged. I can keep them mentally thinking about what we have going on. So my discipline in doing that encourages their discipline to check and engage in their work. They're going to check those Slack messages. They're going to get on Zoom with me, with their manager, with their teams. They're going to check their email more often. And so remote working it's not a nice day. It's not a snow day. It's not a vacation. We have to hold our teams accountable, but it's up to us to set them up for success at the same time. We can't just say, well, do your job. Well, we need to find new ways to engage them in what their job is and helping us build that game plan. It's not on our shoulders individually. I think we all, we spend a lot of time and money educating and training and finding new employees. And we have to do a better job of having them help us build our game plans. You never know what one little statement somebody could make that is a light bulb moment for somebody else. As an example, over the last 2 weeks, like I said, I have about 30 people. We split them into 3 teams, and we challenged them. Each group had 3 challenges. They're all the same parameters, same rules. I gave them runway and space. I set it up and then I backed out of the conversation because it's not for me to necessarily micromanage. But what happens is they became self-structured, they became organized, they became self-disciplined teams working together and creating revenue-generating ideas for our new future. So now I'm paying people to be at home, but those people at home are now coming up with ways for me to make money, which is ultimately, let's be honest, we're all here for the chamber. We're all capitalists, and it's what we all want to achieve. So they held daily meetings, chats, calls over 2 weeks. Every single day they were getting together and they were talking and communicating. They built teamwork, created patterns of behavior together. This benefits me in not having to micromanage. It benefits me in them teaching them to self-discipline. They're building team values, and it keeps them focused on the future and building our game plans. Those new challenges that we're all faced with, instead of looking at it as necessarily a challenge, it is an understanding and it is an opportunity. So we're bringing those teams together. We're making them, giving them the opportunity to learn and to help us all grow through that. The last one that I would say is just be a pillar of positivity. As a leader in your organization, that's the most important thing, and focusing on the future that you can be. This is probably one of the most things that's important to me. Anybody that's worked with me or been around me knows, we read books on it. We have regular conversations on it in our office. And some of you have probably heard me give this analogy before, but negativity is an ocean. In today's climate, it couldn't be more true. It's large. You know where to find it. There are a million maps of people that can lead you there any time of day. It's being negative is the easiest thing in the world you can do. Positivity is like your little kitchen faucet, right? If you don't turn it on, you get nothing. Does not provide you with a lot of water. You have to turn it on every day, every time you need it. But it's safe water, and it gives you everything you need to stay healthy and well. And it's just, it's vital to the health of an organization. We cannot ignore what is happening around us. Don't get me wrong. And you don't need to be a cheerleader. You don't need to, that's not where, the way I believe in it, but you can't ignore what's going on. But it is up to each of us to be that positive light for our teams, because that light, it makes the future exciting, makes the future bright, and keeps people focused on the future. So we can focus on what we can control. We understand, believe in, and share our principles with our teams, with our customers. and we take that knowledge to learn everything we can from our customers. We do it in a self-disciplined manner, and we're pillars of positivity. And with that, we can create a new game plan and create better team engagement, create better customer service, better product lines. We can be lighter, we can be more agile, as many of us are going to probably go through changes in our organizational structures. It's going to be important to think about that now. When we can go back and unlock the doors and turn the lights on, it's not the time to sit down and go, oh no, well, we don't have this person anymore. We don't have that position anymore. Now is the time to figure out how to be lighter and more agile. We've got to find the gaps to fill for our teams and our customers. And we have to create a championship game plan. And ultimately, that's what we should be doing right now, is focusing on the future. Our 2020 business plans, they're trash. If you think you're going back to what you were doing, I strongly urge you to reconsider. It's not what's going to happen. It's time to game plan for a very different third and fourth quarter of this year. And it's time to make your game plan for a very different 2021. The business landscape is going to be different. The time and focus right now is best spent on strategic planning. Dust off that 3 to 5 year plan. What needs to be replaced? What needs to be tweaked? What needs to be updated or just outright changed? What can we do better? This is our challenge. Now we have to work towards that with a new understanding. And so that's kind of what I wanted to share with you guys today. And it's very general. It's very quick. I'd love your questions, comments, thoughts, ideas to share with the group. I think that everybody is doing really unique things right now to find ways to engage other humans, to engage your teams, to engage other people. It's so important that we do those things so that we can hold people accountable. If you sit back and expect your teams to just go and continue to do, then you're setting everybody up for failure at that point. So I open it to everybody.
Yeah, no, Jeff, thank you so much. Thank you for sharing those 5 pillars. We really appreciate it. If you guys have questions, again, feel free to drop them in the chat. Or if you just want to unmute yourself, I can call on you because I've got a full view as to who all is available. And so I would love to, take some questions. Natalie, do you have a question for Jeff? Maybe not. Maybe she just doesn't have that. I do have a question from Ida. What are you doing to foster creativity in your new plan for customer engagement?
Yeah, for sure. So it's the Wild West, in my opinion. We can kind of do whatever we want right now. There's whatever rules we were all playing by are gone. So we have a dedicated sales staff and customer service staff. And so what we've done is refocus them. Your job is no longer to, at the current time, your job's not to sell. Your job is to build relationships, because those relationships are going to bring the conversations you need to learn. So it's going to help you figure out what you need to do from a creativity standpoint. How can we, it's not necessarily up to us to reinvent our industries. But if we listen to our customer base, they're going to tell us how to reinvent, because they're going to tell us what they need. They're going to tell us what they want. They're going to tell us what price points they need. They're going to tell us what products and services they want to see. And so really we've refocused them into being, a human connection model, right? It's just, hey, go out, build relationships. We still have our marketing team doing things on social, trying to do giveaways. We're trying to capture data still. But now instead of using that data to go after a sell, we're going after that data to create a relationship so that, maybe in December I can get a sell, or maybe it's next June I can get a sell. But right now we're just reaching out and using that as an opportunity to realign that workforce.
Thank you so much. One of the things that, Jeff, you and Elaine and I spoke about was your strategy with keeping people on versus, trying to rehire and just that process. Do you want to, will you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, sure. I think it's, let's set the human element aside, right? I mean, nobody wants to be in that position where we're, letting people go and things, but we all have businesses to run, and we all have revenue that we have to make, and we all have things that we have to do in life. But for me personally, it costs a lot of money to hire and train. It costs a lot of money to find talent. And we don't know how long this is going to last, but we're going to hold on as long as we can, because once we start putting people back out into the workforce, even though it may not be any fault of our own, people's feelings may change. People will see the workplace in a different light. They're maybe not going to feel like it's that family and connected to it. So, you can turn people out and know that, hey, we're going to open at some point. We're going to be able to hire people back, but that may not be the same. So for us, it's trying to hold on to what we have so that we can keep them engaged. And really, we're building a lot of loyalty out of it. And there's a cost to it. That's why I highly encourage, if you haven't, check into the SBA loans, do what you can through the government pressure. Your senators and congressmen to continue to help you as small businesses. But we all spend a lot of effort in acquiring those employees. I'd hate to lose them over this.
And with that as well, you've done such a great job of engaging them and keeping them forward thinking instead of really, like the woe is me, which that was the biggest thing that I took from our previous conversation was your drive to keep them focused and moving forward, because there will be soccer played in Oklahoma City this year. There will be.
Yeah, absolutely. And that it's like what I said at the beginning of this. We have to focus on the things that we can control. And what I can control is not talking to people on our team about how much it costs to keep them. I'm not talking to people about, well, I don't know when we're going to open. Well, none of us know when we're going to open. Nobody knows what that's going to look like yet. So what can we talk about is, okay, here's the products that we offer. Do you think that's what your customers want? Go find out. Let's start talking about what they need to accomplish 6 months away, not next week. Let's talk about what they need to accomplish for 2021 to make us a successful business. And if I can keep them focused and thinking about those things, a really simple one is, normally we all have staff meetings and they work from the top down, and that's just how it's worked for 100 years, and it is what it is. Hold some meetings on Zoom and let them be ran from the bottom up and see what happens. If you give people a little bit of leeway and give them some opportunities, you're going to build a whole lot of loyalty and trust out of people. And they're going to work hard for you, but you have to be the one that puts it out to them. You can't expect it just to happen.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. That's a really good point. Anyone else with questions? I don't see anything in the chat. I've seen a few comments. A lot of people talking about Jeff being the godfather of our membership awareness campaign, Godfather, which is fantastic. And then also a comment from Gina saying, I feel motivated just listening to Jeff. So appreciate him. So
thank you, Gina.
A thumbs up from there. Anything else?
No, the one thing I'd like to just leave everybody with is, look, this is going to pass, and it's not going to go back to normal. We don't really know what it's going to go back to yet, but we can pretty much guarantee it's going to be different. We have to start thinking today about how we're going to adjust, how we're going to, maybe work with a smaller staff, or maybe how we're going to, now we're going to have employees that go, wait a minute, I can work from home every now and then. I can remote work. How are we going to build that in so that we can work from a cultural standpoint to continue to evolve our workplaces so that we do have that best possible future? It's just, you don't normally get these times. We don't get time to strategic plan, right? You don't get time to sit down and go, man, what am I going to do in 3 years? You did that when you opened your business or when you became the manager or whatever, and you probably haven't done it since because there's never any time. There's a million things that get in the way. We all have that time to really grasp what's in front of us and go, well, okay, well, if I want to reimagine this, how do I want to do it? And I can do that now. I can take that opportunity now.
And I think you hit on a great point there. And that's both personally and professionally.
Yeah.
Very, very rarely do we have a time when extracurriculars stop. So I would also encourage you guys to look at yourselves from a personal standpoint too, to figure out, kind of do some reevaluation. So
absolutely. I mean, it's one of the things I ask my team every day to go do is to go outside. It's beautiful weather these days. Go outside and take a gratitude walk. But don't just take a gratitude walk, but go out, take a gratitude walk, think about what's really good in life. So we're focusing on positive, we're focusing on the future, and then come back and share it. Come back and send an email to a coworker that you appreciate and tell them why. Those little moments of connection are vitally important.
Yeah. Well, Jeff,
Liz,
thank you.
Liz,
Yeah.
Liz,
Go ahead.
If I could just make one comment, Ernie Gomez from Moore Norman Technology Center. I think with what we're in right now, I think from an education standpoint, and I think I'm learning that more and more, we've seen courses online, but I think in the future, like Jeff is saying, we have to look at our own business different. And coming from a technology center, I think you're going to see a lot more learning online. So I think we need to get used to that. You're not going to have a face-to-face instructor. You will online, but learning's going to be different. And I think we're seeing that. We're experiencing that right now.
Yeah, I completely agree. From Gina, what are we hearing from our retailers? What concerns are they having? And that kind of goes out to everyone. Anyone want to jump in on that?
Well, I can tell you, we also, from a retail standpoint for Energy FC, everything's online. And I only expect it to move more and more online. So, if your primary business is retail, you really need to think about, how that model is going to change. It's been slowly changing over the course of the last 5 years. And I think it's going to see rapid developments to moving online. And so everybody really needs to be paying attention to how you're interacting. Instead of being mad at Amazon, you better figure out how you work with them.
Yeah, great point. Great point. All right. Well, I also just want to give a shout out to our sponsors to the business briefing series. Obviously, this looks a little bit different than our normal business briefing lunches. Moore Norman Technology Center has been our presenting sponsor for business briefings for many years, and it's been fun to be able to pump out so much content during this time, taking it to Zoom. Metro Technology Centers is our gold sponsor, and then we've got Bailey as our silver sponsor. So thank you all for taking the time to join us today. We really appreciate your commitment to the chamber, and I just continue to encourage you, if you're looking for services, if you're looking to do business with a restaurant, with a plumber, with an electrician, please, please, please go to southokc.com and use one of our members and let them know that you're using them because they are a South Chamber member. That's how we are going to continue to grow stronger and just continue to support each other. So with that, Jeff, thank you so much for your time today, and thank you for preparing this for us. We really appreciate it, and I'm seeing a few hand claps around the screen, so thank you. We do have a few things coming up so that you guys are aware. Next week on Tuesday at 11, we've got Glenda Montiel with Cox Communications. She's going to be talking about taking care of clients. It should be a wonderful event. It's going to be here on Zoom as well. And then on Wednesdays, we have started a Chamber Connection where we're just getting on and chatting and hearing from our members. Next week, it's going to be a happy hour. So we're going to be doing it from 4 to 5. Grab your favorite drink and come join us as we chat about what's going on. And kind of looking towards the future, we've also got some Brenda Jones with Jones PR is going to be presenting the week after next as well. So keep an eye on that Monday morning memo. If you have any questions, please reach out to your chamber staff. We're here for you guys, and we love to hear from you, and especially bringing you programs and information that you want and need. So with that, we'll sign off. Again, thank you. See you guys next time.